Hi, if you clicked on this video because of the thumbnail,
Two hours later.
Okay, let's begin. Just some ground rules before we start. I know this video is just going to be me joking around most of the time, but I do realize that I am going to hurt some people's feelings. And if that's you, then please let me know how butthurt your humorless ass is in the comments. Cheers. And yes, these reviewers made me buy these fragrances. They made me do it. They didn't influence me or anything like that. They actually forced me to buy these. True story. And if you're a fragrance reviewer who didn't make this list, it's not me, blame the algorithm. First up is A, and A is for Ashton, and Ashton is from the Jensense channel. Very popular channel, I watch him religiously. He's a really informative guy, very entertaining as well, and comes up with all the latest stuff. However, he did hype up a fair few fragrances that I have bought, and I'm gonna go into them really briefly because there's a few. First up, we have this one right here. This is Guess Seductive Homme. And he also made me buy the other one, Guess Seductive Homme Noir. Both of these, very similar bottles. They both have that helicopter sort of lid, and surprisingly, a really good pressurized atomizer. Look at that, ridiculous. But the smell, it's the scent. Like, he hyped these up as really nice cheapies. This is really not that great. It's actually kind of trash. This one, however, is passable, but barely. We're not done with you yet, Ashton, excuse. I'll put these over here and start my own stunning collection. Start my own stunting. Agua. The next one that he made me buy is another one that he hyped up. This one. This is Halloween Man Shot. Possibly the worst fragrance name of all time. If you could imagine walking through a department store and the person in the department store is there going, "Excuse me, sir, would you like some man shot in your face?" Yeah, I don't see it selling very well. Maybe it might. There might be a niche market out there for it. But this one, really not that great. Again, it's very much like Guess Seductive Homme, which is really kind of trash. I consider this kind of quite trash, as a matter of fact. And the other one that he made me buy is only slightly better, and that is this one, Halloween Man X. Coffee, sweet, all of these ones, they all have that sweetness in them that I really don't like. It's that really sugary, sort of syrupy sweetness that I don't really appreciate in fragrances. Yeah, it's like a burnt sort of sugar caramel. If you love sweet stuff, then this is a great cheapie because it actually, unfortunately, lasts for a very long time as well. So yeah, this one right here, and I know he's a fan of the gradient. Yeah, cool, but the smell itself isn't that great. But it's not all bad, Ashton. You made up for yourself, more than made up for yourself, when you reminded me that this fragrance still exists, and this fragrance is Drakkar Noir by Guy Laroche. Now this, if you don't know, if you haven't seen my previous videos of my fragrances of the 90s that I wore, was my first fragrance, my second, third, and fourth fragrance. I went through 4 bottles of this. It was the first 4 bottles of my fragrance that I had. And so smelling this, he reminded me of this, and I thought, you know what, it's still around. I might go pick up a bottle. And this just takes me back to when I was a teenager every time I smell it. I only wear it for nostalgia's sake. It's not really the same thing. It's not as beastly as before. It's been reformulated. All the good stuff's been taken out of it. But the memory of the smell is still there. It's quite close, as a matter of fact, but it is missing the thing that made it really special and the thing that made everybody want to wear it. But yeah, you made up for yourself with this one. Nice work. Next on this list of fragrances that other YouTube reviewers made me buy is a 2-for-1. We have Max 40 and Mr. Smelly 1977, also known as Dan Norton? I'm gonna say Norton, yes. And they always talk really highly of this one. I don't know if you can see it. It is Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme. And the reason why I got this and another small bottle like this is because they don't actually hype up the actual version that's for sale now. You have to have the one that was made back in the day by the company called Euro Italia. It's the big bottle with the sticker on it. It has to have the sticker on it, otherwise it's not the same smell, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've avoided this scent for a very long time because in the 90s, my best friend's brother had a bottle of this and he had a bottle of Yop Homme, two extremely well projecting and very strong fragrances in their day. And every time I had to go to my best friend's house, which I went to a lot, I had to walk past his room. And apart from the Mariah Carey music that was always coming out of there was the smell of this and Yop Homme together blasting out of it. And that left a really bad memory on me, a scent memory on me that I couldn't get rid of for the longest time. But I thought I would take them up on it. Max Forti, I consider him the James Brown of the fragrance review community, as in he's really hardworking, and the intensity with which he sniffs fragrances makes his nostrils red all the time, I reckon. And then there's Mr. Smelly, who is either being very funny and trolling everybody or having a midlife crisis. We don't know, but it's entertaining to watch nonetheless. Thanks for all the videos, by the way. I did grab it. I actually have them and I have been wearing them and I am very, very impressed. These bottles I had to get small because I didn't want to, throw a boatload of money on the vintage. These are vintage ones, but they're only about 4.5 mils. So these are from 1995, these bottles. So they're the real deal and they've been kept very well. And I'm actually surprised and amazed at how good it is. I generally don't like lavender in scents, but this is so good. This is really, really good. And the new version just pales in comparison to this original. So y'all made me buy this. Thank you for reminding me. I'm back to listening to Mariah Carey in my mind right now. Next up, we have Chris from Scentland, the land of scent. And he talked very highly in this one video that I'm sure most of you have seen already, where he talks about his 3 most favorite fragrances. And I think one of them is Equitos, and then the other one is Encensé, and the other one is this one right here. This is Havana by Aramis. And he talks very highly of this. And I watched that video and I thought, hey, you know what? I used to have a bottle of that back in the mid-90s and I loved it. I wore it throughout a summer and I went through the whole bottle. I've got some really good scent memories tied to it. I might pick it up again. And I found it really easy to find and it smells almost identical to the one from the 90s, but I know the one from the 90s and I know it well. And it's not exactly this. So I had to go and hunt down, of course, an original bottle. Of course, it's much smaller because I'm only using this for nostalgia purposes. The differences are very minimal, but I think that this is, again, one of the best sort of unique tobacco scents out there, other than the Montana Pour Homme, which I think is similar, but not exactly the closest thing in the world to it. I think that these are fantastic fragrances. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me again of how good Havana still is, and I know I'm going to be wearing them again once it starts to heat up. I like wearing this on hot days. It's just water. It's just delicious water. Okay. Next up, we have George, who is also known from the channel The Fragrance Apprentice, a very, very nice, very creative channel. He sometimes does very creative videos, which I do enjoy. And he didn't make me buy this fragrance, but he did make me go, is it really that good? I mean, I bought it for like $13, this fragrance. And after I saw him hype it up and talk about it in depth so much, I thought, okay, I might need to pull this back out and have another go, because I thought it was pleasant, but I really didn't pay too much attention to it because I had other stuff going on at the time. And the one I'm talking about is this one right here. This is Bulgari Man Extreme. This one with the squiggly lines is the All Blacks edition. That's why it's got that sort of moldy pattern on it. Now, this is a very unique scent. And the one thing that stands out to me in terms of what differentiates a designer from a high quality sort of fragrance is that when designers generally dry down, in the deep dry down, they are very generic. They use the same sort of, I think the fixative, the thing that lasts the longest is sort of the same element, and it all smells the same after it dries down. But this one doesn't. It retains its uniqueness. And I really like that about this fragrance. So yes, thank you, George, for reminding me and letting me give this another shot. Next up, we have Big Beard Business. But really, brother, your beard's not that big. If you've seen some of my old videos, that beard is bigger. But I guess it's not the size that counts. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And the thing that Triple B made me buy, and he talked it up quite a bit in his videos, is this one right here. This is Burberry's Touch for Men. And I'm not a big fan of Burberry fragrances. I only have a few, and all of them are quite okay-ish. They're not exceptional or anything like that. And neither is this fragrance here. I mean, it's all right, but I think it needs a little bit of citrus up top to really kick it off. Other than that, I think the only time that I actually ever wear this is after I've had a shower. And that's probably why it hasn't really been used very much. Hey, don't judge me, you dirtphobe. And the next reviewer needs no introduction at all. Of course, the one I'm talking about is the one, the only Jeremy fragrance. And I probably don't even need to tell you what it is that he hyped up that I bought from him hyping it up. It's this one right here, La Nuit de l'Homme. Yep, plain old La Nuit de l'Homme. And you know what? He was right. He was right. Vietz, mein Schatzi. Yeah, he was right. I mean, I guess I can't really say anything about this that's bad because I instantly loved it. And I liked it even more after it sort of went down to about halfway. And I don't have much left. And the funny thing about this is, because I ran out of it so quickly, I bought another one, right? I bought the bigger bottle. Surprisingly, they are very different smelling. And I've smelled the 2009 one. I came across it in a department store that had a tester from 2009 of this original 4-digit batch code, everything like that, metal cap. I sprayed the shit out of it on me, and then I went home and I tested it against this. And there was very minor differences. That one lasted longer. It was a little bit deeper as well. Then when I got this one, which is a newer batch by a couple of years, it's really clean. It's a lot cleaner. It's less spicy, less rich, but it's a lot more rounded. This one has a little bit of rough edges to it, which is really odd because, like I said, I think this is a 2018 and this is a 2020 bottle. The formula numbers look the same, and I don't know if it's like a maturation kind of thing. So I'm waiting for this maybe to mature because I've put a little bit of air inside the bottle as well, and I'm hoping that it gets to be as dense and rich as this one. But yeah, Jeremy, you're on a winner here. At least this one is true 100%. Thank you. Next up, we have my man Justin Copeland from the Stay Fresh Productions, Staying Fresh or Fresh Stayers. Justin Copeland, the trumpet guy with the deep voice. Love him. He's such a cool guy. He does really cool reviews. He's got really eclectic taste as well, I think. And I love the way that I think in his reviews, maybe he realizes it or not, because he's a musician and he's sort of used to how songs are composed when they have an introduction and you have a hook or you have a chorus and then you have a refrain and then you might have an outro. And the same thing happens in perfumery, in fragrance. You have the notes, you have the development of the notes, you have the movements of the fragrance itself throughout the introduction, the main body, and then the ending. So I think he brings that into his reviews, and that makes it really enjoyable for me personally to watch because I have a musical background myself. But the thing that I notice is that when he really enjoys something, he makes that face where his forehead turns into like the Michelin Man, and I'm like, ooh, that one. I need to get that one. And the one that I'm talking about that I picked up recently because of that is this one right here. This is Cartier's Déclaration Parfum. This is probably my best pickup of 2021. Honestly, this is an absolute winner. It is a banger for real. And I'm so happy that I got me a bottle of this. It is so nice. I'm wearing it now actually. And it's super high quality. It's the type of scent that I like. It's elegant, it's classy, it's got a lot of facets to it. I love the fact that it's not a sweet sort of candied version of a fragrance water, candied fragrant water or something like that. This is really nice. And thank you, Justin, for putting me onto this one. Actually, more likely for forcing me to buy this one. I'm glad that it worked out. By the way, I did make a request for you previously to play Strasbourg Saint-Denis for me from the Roy Hargrove Quintet, and I'm yet to hear that one. So I think you owe me that in the intro of one of your videos. Cheers. All right, next up, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story about me, about what was happening in my life earlier this year. And I woke up sort of in bed, not feeling all that great, feeling a little bit down, feeling a bit demotivated, about thinking about, oh, you know, is this YouTube thing? Is this worth my time even? I mean, am I enjoying this still? Already asking myself these questions. I woke up and I thought, yeah, let me have a look and see if there's anything, if there's any activity on any of the videos that I've posted up. And I saw there was a comment there on one of my short videos, and it just said, great review, short and sweet. And it was by Joy Amin. And I thought I read Joy Amin. And because I had just woken up, I had to rub my eyes and go, hold on a second. Joy Amin left a comment on my video? That's what? Are you kidding me? And he also subscribed to my channel. Joy by name, joy by nature. Looks like he's spreading it around because he has plenty to go around. He's one of my favorite channels. I do watch him and his videos a lot. He's prolific and I think he is an absolute joy to watch. And you know what? Just him sort of leaving that comment and subscribing to my channel lifted my spirits. What could I say? For someone who has like 66,000 subs to leave a comment like that and then subscribe to your channel is really an honor, and I took it that way, and it sort of just motivated me to go out and sort of create more content. So, but before that happened, and before all this YouTube stuff happened for me, he had already hyped up this fragrance, and I'd probably most of you who watch Joy probably already know what this is, and I bought it because I chanced across it actually really cheap, and it's this one right here. This is CK's Reveal. And you know what? I actually like this one. I actually like this one a lot because it's unique. It's got that melon vibe. It's got a bit of aquatic. It's got a bit of incense. It's got a bit of smoke, and it's just unique. Yes, it's super duper synthetic, but it's a unique synthetic. I don't think you get this kind of smell in nature anyway, so I don't think they can make this naturally. Really nice. I'm glad that I've got it, and I think it's been discontinued, but because it's a CK fragrance, I don't think it'll shoot up so crazy in value. Again, Joy, this is your hype beast, and yes, you did force me to buy it because of how you talked it up, and I'm glad that I've got it because it is really nice. Thank you. And the last fragrance reviewer on this list who forced me to buy a fragrance that they've hyped up is none other than Sebastian Jara from the I think he's called The Perfume Guy now. That's the channel name, The Perfume Guy. And he's also quite prolific, and his collection is enormous. And I think he's the one who I share the same taste in fragrances with, because a lot of the things that he really likes, I also have and really like as well. I think we both share the same background, both born in Lebanon. We're both Armenians born in Lebanon. He's in the States, I'm in Australia. And the one fragrance that he hyped up so crazy, and he still does it, and I thought, wow, okay, well, if he likes this one that much, I might try and buy this too. And I actually did, and it's really hard to find, and it was really hard to find, and I just chanced across it. And when I chanced across it, I thought, I'll just blind buy 2 bottles of this, and if I don't like it, maybe someone else might like it. Unfortunately, I did like it. Actually, fortunately, I should say fortunately, I did like it, and I love it, and it's this one right here. This is Dior Homme Parfum. Now, blind buying 2 bottles of this is a bit of a risk financially, but I think it's worth every single cent. My God. When I first got this and I sprayed this on, I thought, wow, this is really nice. I can't wait until this bottle sort of matures once I let some air inside it. And that's happened now. And I get a lot more rose coming through than the iris. And the iris is sort of settled in the background, at least for the opening phase of this fragrance. It is absolutely stunning and it is beautiful. And it's a crime. Actually, no, it's not a crime. I think it's a benefit that this is in the Dior Homme lineup rather than in the Dior Privé lineup, because otherwise it would be 3 times the price. And for some reason you have Dior Privé fragrances that are not even close to being as good as this, or as well projecting, or as long lasting, or as well put together as this. So yes, thank you Dior for keeping this in the designer lineup and not the Privé lineup. And thank you Sebastian, I should say, for putting me onto this one, because at the time I only had Dior Homme and I thought, fantastic, love Dior Homme, but the Parfum version really takes it to many other levels indeed. So yes, there we are. You know, the one thing I've realized while doing this video is that I don't have any female reviewers on this list. I guess they haven't really influenced me. And I do watch female reviewers, especially the ones that review male fragrances consistently. It's just that they haven't really convinced me to buy something just because they've recommended it. And I don't think any of them have hyped up one single thing. And the thing that they have hyped up is generally the stuff that I don't really like, which is that super sweet, super vanilla tonka, vanilla tonka, vanilla tonka. That kind of stuff, it just doesn't impress me. I'm a bit too old for that kind of shit. But I will mention some of them because I do watch them, and I'll mention the ones that I do watch regularly, okay? First up, we have Parfums de Demi. Parfums de Rollings. Never mind. Next up, we have Michela from the channel Curly Fragrances. Fuck me. All right, that's the one. Curly Fragrance. All right. So she has got an obsession with, she's really obsessed with coffee. That's right. She really likes coffee. Yeah. And while she hasn't really made me buy any fragrances, what she has made me do is buy some dumbbells, because that chick's got bigger biceps than me. Respect. Next up, we have Omar from the School of Scent. Apparently, this lady gets lots of compliments. Somehow I find that hard to believe. And last but not least, we have Monica Cho from the channel Monica Kioch. Probably the channel with the best audio and the best lighting and videography in terms of fragrance reviewers. Sorry, George, but those atomizer shots, mwah. But I really don't know about the content of her videos because a lot of them really seem to be centered around killing women. And I'm not into murder anymore. What the hell is going on in Eastern Europe? Anyway, that's it. That's the video of fragrance reviewers who made me and forced me to buy fragrances that they've hyped up. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making this. And as always, thanks for watching.